Ron Tite. Welcome to yet another edition of Studio Q. And in an effort to bring the show closer to our humble viewers, we're filming this week on location in the J-Duck down in the Lower Cayley.
Hi, I'm Kirsta Teague, and today we have a hip-hop happening show.
Hip-hop happening?
No, we do. We really do. Because we have stories on hip-hop dance craze, an international hockey game, and the second annual Career Film Fest.
Right. First, however, is a look at a very important issue. Many of us have problems making it to class even on our best days. However, when one considers the obstacles faced by a person confined to a wheelchair, the question of attendance becomes more a problem of logistics rather than plain efficient scheduling. With us right now is Kevin Bryenton, a reporter who recently took a look at the issue.
Thanks, Ron. Well, you know the story about trying to view life from somebody else's perspective? You're supposed to walk a mile in their shoes, right? Well, to do a story on wheelchair access at Queens, I didn't use shoes, but I hopped into a manual wheelchair, and I tried to experience some of the stumbling blocks that these special students face.
It's another dreary day in the long Kingston winter, and you don't feel like heading down to campus. Well, how would you feel if you had the same decisions to make from a wheelchair? The Campus Planning Board has attempted to revamp Queens campus to make it more accessible for wheelchair students. But in a study of accessibility conditions, Studio Q found equal access a daunting prospect. 10 minutes between classes usually gives a student time to grab a bite to eat, chat with a friend, and still make it to class on time. Choosing Dunning Auditorium and the Technological Center to represent an average class change, it required a full 10 minutes simply to go from building to building in a wheelchair. Simple maneuvers like stepping over curbs and snow piles represent major stumbling blocks to a wheelchair student. Stray garbage and poorly placed garbage cans end up making speedy class changes a dream, not a reality. On the accessibility scale of 0 to 5, Studio Q gives winter accessibility on Queens campus a 3. Say you want to go for a coffee. Sidewalk Cafe is fully accessible to wheelchairs, but the fine points, like getting stir sticks and wheeling your way to an open table, present noticeable barriers. Sidewalk gets a 4. The John Deutsch University Center is equipped with a ramp and a specified wheelchair door. This means that there's a level entrance near the doorway. It doesn't change the actual door in any way, however, and often these doors are locked and too heavy to open manually. The JDUC gets a 3 also. The Phys Ed Center has had its ramp installed in the past few years, but there are problems with the locking schedule. Many times it is left locked while the other doors remain open. Once inside, however, facilities are fully accessible. And there are no burdens keeping wheelchair students from shooting a few hoops or watching a varsity volleyball game. The Peck Center gets a 4. So you've just had your workout on the court, and you have a bit of a thirst. Well, why not go to one of the campus pubs for a drink? Try again. Alfie's gets a 0. How about Clark? A 0. All right. But the Quiet Pub gets a 5 out of 5. Maybe you think the Studio Q rating system is a bit harsh, but the Disability Network on CBC has very professional criteria to rate Ontario universities, and once again, Queens was dead last. How about Matt Corey? Nice wheelchair ramp, and automatic doors, too. It even has an automated wheelchair lift to overcome sterophobia. It looks like it's heading for a big 5 out of 5, but wait. On the way down, we found out the lift was broken and no pushing or pulling would release me from this precarious position. Nice try, but 3 out of 5. We went to the Special Needs Office to discuss the future of Queens' equal accessibility and its present problems. Coordinator Barbara Roberts made it clear that attempts are being made to promote equal access. But the conflicting aspects of city bylaws and stringent building specifications coupled to the tremendous cost make it a slow process indeed.
The other thing that's very expensive about making the old buildings accessible is elevators. Elevators run anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 apiece.
Now, above all, a university student is here to learn, no matter what their physical challenges may be. And the best place to learn is in the library. So one would expect that access would here, above all else, be fully equal.
Douglas Library, you wheel up to a back door and press a doorbell and wait for the staff to come and let you in, which is not exactly equal access. So you could sit there all day waiting for someone to come along and open the door for you. I think that's more insulting than it is helpful.
So, Kev, how does it look for the future?
Well, it's a bit of a mix of optimism and pessimism. The Queens community has a real initiative to get things going, but there's a lot of design problems, budget problems, and zoning problems that make it a real logistical nightmare. So equal access for all wheelchair students is still a bit of a future consideration. And I'd like to thank the people at Doncaster Health Services for loaning me the wheelchair free for a week. Beautiful wheelchair.
That was great. That was very nice of them.
Yes.
Thank you, Doncaster.
Queens Marketing Association held its annual conference last Thursday and Friday. The focus of this year's event was niche marketing, a subject of considerable interest for advertising types. Sharie Ross reports on the proceedings.
The Queen's Marketing Association held its 8th national conference at the Ambassador Hotel, where business professionals and Queen's students gathered together on a marketing adventure, exploring the theme of niche marketing. The new challenge for large national corporations to focus on particular groups in society. Harvey Remike, General Sales Manager of Procter & Gamble, directed the focus at an emerging group in the marketing arena.
To talk a little bit about ethnic marketing, a very important emerging niche in Canada.
The two-day event consisted of several key speakers. Harvey Remike and Hector Dupuis, Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing of Toyota Canada, were among the few that spoke. The presentations provide students with insights into the important areas of marketing, while seminars were given to smaller groups covering a broad spectrum of topics, ranging from marketing cheese slices to marketing a luxurious automobile. Hector Dupuis enlightened the spectators with a marketing strategy for the new Lexus SC400, the sexy and sensuous automobile. Ryan Mugford, president of the QMA, believes that the presentations and the practical skills workshops offered by the conference will prepare students with the hands-on experience they need to tackle the obstacles of the working world. And with this practical experience,
and that also makes a Queen's student have an edge over any other students in any other universities.
The QMA consists of over 1,300 members from the arts and science, engineering, MBA, and commerce faculties who participate in advertising and marketing workshops, market research surveys, and national conferences throughout the year. Although the QMA may seem commerce-focused, Mugford stresses that this year there's been a concerted effort to attract students from different faculties.
We're really set up for the general student body and not just commerce students.
The organization of the conference began last year, and the scheduling of the speakers took place in April 1992. Peter Doulis, the National Conference Director, acknowledges that the international reputation of Queen's made his job easier.
Just because of the Queen's reputation, he doesn't want to miss a chance to meet some Queen's students. And that makes my job a lot easier.
The QMA National Conference was a great success. It enabled students to interact with individuals already in the marketplace. And for those who are looking for some direction after graduation, the conference was a great opportunity to meet and make an impression on potential employers. For Studio Q, this is Sharie Ross reporting.
A rumor has it that apparently there's a hip-hop dance craze going on at Queens.
I know, I saw it on here, and the first thing that came to my mind was, what the hell is hip-hop dancing?
I thought you were going to demonstrate for me what hip-hop dancing is.
No,
I should know, Ron.
I very seldom bust a move.
Oh, really? Anyhow, Molly Finlay has more on this craze that's hitting Queens.
Everybody dance now.
Bum, bum.
Hip-hop dancing has hit Queens. The Ballet and Jazz Club teaches hip-hop classes at the Physical Education Center, and each Sunday participants take part in learning the Streetwise style. The classes are taught by Paula Doust, who was once a sun dancer for the Toronto Argonauts, where she learnt the style. She explains the origins of hip-hop.
It's an adaptation of what's in the time now and the era now, and how people have picked up the speed of jazz and modern and kind of adapted it to what the dance music is now, and people are doing it in clubs and stuff, so, and you see it in every music video that's out now.
Hip-hop dancers at Queens seem to enjoy the technique.
Mostly dancing on instinct right now, and I've never actually had any formal lessons. But I don't know, it's fun. I got to be a little bit more street-oriented, you know, like sort of that Boys in the Hood kind of thing and stuff like that. But it's a little more poppy than I thought it would be, but I like it anyway.
Well, you know, back on the streets of Trenton, back in the day, you know, we didn't have any classes like this, you know. So I just thought I'd, you know, see what it was like.
In addition, hip-hop also has fitness benefits.
It's like totally aerobic. I mean, I don't know, halfway through the class, you just start huffing and puffing, and you get your second wind, and, you know, you start all over.
For whatever reason, the groovy style attracts a crowd who are eager to learn, and Paula's teaching helps them along.
I really love to teach it. It's a very energetic, fast-paced kind of thing, and people are awkward with it at first and laugh, and they can't do it, but eventually, you know, I break it down so much, they're picking it up, and it's a really fun kind of thing to do.
Fad or phenomenon, hip-hop dancing has made its way onto dance floors at clubs everywhere. More recently, however, this popular dance form has made its way to Queens. For Studio Q, I'm Molly Finlay reporting.
Such programs such as film often leave their students lost at the end of their degree. Well, I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. Well, maybe I wasn't the first person to say that. But anyhow, there was a second annual Film Career Fest last week, and Mike Souther was there.
Quite a few years ago, Linda Frum suggested that a film degree at Queen's was the uncoolest degree, because as she said, we would never get a job. Well, perhaps this is no longer true. M Magazine in the U.S. suggests that a film degree is the MBA of the 90s, citing that both New York University and University of Southern California get far more applications for their film graduate program than Harvard does for its MBA, and subsequently the entrance standards are higher. Although a film degree may be increasing in its popularity, it doesn't mean that the job hunting is any easier. While a commie or an eng might simply apply for a posted position, film graduates upon graduation have to do it a different way. It's called networking. So at Film Careers Fest this past Thursday and Friday, film types had a first-hand chance of networking for themselves. On Thursday night, Leuten Roja from the Canada Council was here to talk about funding for first-time filmmakers. The Canada Council has provided funding for many of Canada's most critically acclaimed films, such as Highway 61 or I've Heard the Mermaids Singing. I asked Leuten what the Canada Council's role was in helping film graduates.
Basically, the Canada Council is there to provide financial assistance to all artists who are professional. Graduated students are professional filmmakers. And now the only assistance that the Canada Council offers for them is in the form of a grant to develop their own project. So in a way, what the Canada Council is doing is recognizing and supporting the independence of these artists so they can create their own work and control their own work with money coming from taxpayers.
For those of us who just want to direct films right away and not work up the ladder, it was nice to know that there was funding out there for our first short film. On Friday morning, acting coaches from Toronto and former Queen's grads, Teresa Sears and David Switzer, had a 4-hour on-camera workshop on the basics of acting on film and a discussion on how to get an agent and subsequently work in front of the camera.
Great category for getting agents right now, because the sort of young and restless between 17 and 24 is the major category. That isn't always true.
Teresa and I say, oh my God, you know, class of 96 is casting. If you have anybody 19 years old or anybody, so if you're...
And finally, on Friday afternoon, one of Canada's hottest TV directors and feature filmmakers came with his new film, Amadeo Bingo Martyr, A True Story, to talk with us at the Prince's Court. He described the process of becoming a TV director and the difficulties of staying there. After all this, we had a little wine and cheese smooze fest that ended up continuing until early the next day. This year's Careers Fest was funded almost entirely by students who bought tickets. Next year, it can only get better. There's a rumor that Spike Lee might be coming. For Studio Q, I'm Mike Souther reporting.
Streetwise. Today's question was whether or not students actually watch Studio Q. And if so, why? And if not, why not? Can I ask you a question for Studio Q?
No, I'm late for class.
Sorry. Yes, ma'am? Sorry, I'm in a rush. At first, I had a little bit of trouble getting some answers.
Actually, I'm just late for a class. No, I didn't have any time.
But then I got tough. Hey, excuse me.
Hi.
Do you watch Studio Q?
No.
How come?
Because isn't it on Thursday nights, and I'm usually not on Thursday nights.
Once in a while.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, like why do you watch it and why don't you watch it?
Because the show I'm usually watching is during commercial. Periodically, yeah.
What do you watch it for?
Well, sometimes I flip by, find something interesting, and sort of it catches my attention, so I watch it.
Sometimes I just watched it last week, actually.
Do you like it?
Yeah, sure.
What's good about it?
It's fun. It represents the student population, keeps people aware of what's going on. It also covers a lot of events that people want to see and hear about, like women's rugby.
Yeah, when I've seen of it, I really liked. I thought it was good. Do you watch Studio Q? No, I don't. No? How come? I don't know why.
Sometimes.
How come?
Because it's fun to watch. It's, just sort of I don't know, I just like it. No, it's good. I like it.
It's kind of humorous at times. It's funny laughing at the people making a fool of themselves, like I'm doing.
That Kevin fellow was a funny chap. I don't know what I think of the little banter going on between the two hosts. It kind of gets a little gloomy sometimes.
Favorite all-time story? The story on the Vania Cup.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday?
And sometimes on Friday.
And? You mean twice a week?
Yeah, can't get enough of it.
Every week. Twice a week, actually.
Why do you watch the show?
Because it's the best show on television.
Thank you.
I watch it for the insightful reporting and the witty yet charming and thoroughly motivated anchors that host, and of course the beautiful and attractive reporters that are always on the scene. Plus, I like to see myself on television.
Many don't know it, but Queens has a symphony orchestra, and it played at Grant Hall on Tuesday night. The School of Music organized the performance, which featured two soloists who won the 1992 Concerto Aria competition. Queens Marketing Association presented yet another speaker on Wednesday afternoon. Frank Heat is president of a company which is quite popular with many Queens students, Upper Canada Breweries. Unfortunately, he didn't bring any samples for his audience. Some of the empty space in the JDC is about to be filled up. What used to be the campus cleaners is about to become an entrepreneurial center. The AMS is sponsoring this venture, and the doors officially open on February 10th. 3 themes were explored this week at Queens. A presentation of drawings and posters was shown in Matt Corey for Eating Disorders Awareness Week. A drop-in center was also made available for students on Wednesday night to get more information on diseases like anorexia and bulimia. A collection of pharmaceutical supplies was taken up as a part of the Bosnia Week. Soap, detergent, medical supplies, and other items were collected at the Chaplain's Office, the International Center, and the Dean of Women's Office. These will be shipped overseas as a part of the Bosnia relief effort. A coffee house was held in the Lower Cayley on Wednesday night as part of the Development Week. The AMSCOTY sponsored the week with a focus on trade and the exploitation of the Third World.
as Don Cherry, hey, look at it. It's Tom Costain.
How you doing, Ron?
A blast for those, say, first-year students who don't know. Tom was in my spot as male anchor last year.
Yes. But Ron, you're doing a fantastic job, I must
Why,
say.
thank you.
You've gone past the limits of anchordom.
Yeah, how come you haven't shaven?
Well, see, you caught me off guard here. I mean, look at the boots.
Look at those Sorels.
Walking outside, and you know, I'm not looking my best.
Right.
Thanks
Great.
anyway, Ron.
Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Tom. See you. You take a guy off camera, and next thing you know, he's not shaving. Right. As Don Cherry will tell you, hockey is truly a Canadian sport and part of Canadian culture. And with a view of making their stay here in Canada that much more memorable, some Queen's students organized an international hockey game for our foreign students. Kathy Barnes has more.
Okay, it may not look like a showing of the NHL All-Stars come to Kingston, but it is, however, the International Center Hockey Game played Saturday at Jock Hardy Arena. The game was played between the Queen's International Center and the School of English, and many of the participants had never laced up a pair of skates in their life, let alone played a game of hockey. Susan Anderson is the student advisor at the International Center, as well as the organizer of the hockey game.
At the International Center, we organize various kinds of activities for international students and for their families. So we do a lot of information sessions, but we also want to organize things that are fun. Well, I think there's a certain mystique about hockey, and I think that people feel that if they could play hockey, then they've really captured, you know, the essence of winter in Canada. So I think there's a lot of interest in getting out there and trying it. And in order to qualify for this hockey team, you must not be a skater. You have to be a brand new skater.
This is Felix, and he has never before laced up a pair of skates. Not only is he skating tonight for the first time, he is also the International Center's goaltender.
Is this the first time you've ever skated?
Yep, as you can see.
Oh! How do you like it so far?
Looks like it's going to be fun as long as I can be able to stand.
Yeah. So have you ever seen hockey played before?
Well, kind of sometimes on TV, but
Really?
It doesn't look as difficult as this. Like,
Yeah.
it's easier to watch than,
Yeah.
I mean, come to think of it, that's walking on knives. It doesn't work. If I could get to know what to do, it should be okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's going to be fun.
Anne is the captain of the International Center team. She's from Osaka, Japan, and has only skated a few times prior to tonight.
Have you ever played hockey before?
No, never. So I'm very surprised to, play hockey with, here now. Yeah, but I appreciate it because giving us such a kind of exciting opportunity to play hockey here. Yeah, I never expected so.
The warm-up proved to be interesting, as many got accustomed to the feel of their skates, and some stepped out onto the ice for the first time. The puck was dropped and the action started. However, there were not too many skillful plays, but for a group of beginners, there was some definite raw talent displayed. Could this possibly be the next Lemieux streaking down the ice? But Felix comes up big with this Grant Fuhr-like save. Or how about this fleet-footed breakaway, only to be stoned again? As well, there was some fancy displays of stick work that would make any NHLer green with envy. As well, there was plenty of raucous fans on hand to give the players some support. And they even indulged in the typical North American cheer, the wave.
Tonight's game may not have been a great display of skill. There were no exciting end-to-end rushes a la Wayne Gretzky or Pavel Bure, but it was still a great game due to the enthusiasm of the international students in learning one of Canada's most beloved sports. Tonight, it didn't matter who won or lost. It was a great game because of the eagerness of the students to learn a bit of Canadian culture. Reporting for Studio Q, I'm Kathy Barnes.
Hey, in sports this week, not a lot of pictures, but lots of action. The men's volleyball team saw action last Friday and Saturday, beating Laurentian University on both attempts. Woo! Yes, but wait. The women's team also beat Ryerson 3-2. Woo! In basketball, the women's team lost to Laurentian 74-52. Yeah, the men's hockey team tied 2 games this weekend against both Ryerson and York. Well, that's okay, yeah. And the women's hockey team went on a road trip to 3 American universities. They lost 4-1 to Northeastern and 6-1 to Providence before beating the Queens of the South, Harvard, 2-1. Harvard? Yes, Harvard. That's it for sports.
Is this your club?
We will now call the first Simpsons Appreciation Club meeting to order. What'd I do wrong?
Why not call Studio Q?
Simpsons Fan Club? We'll be right there.
Studio Q wants to hear from you. If you have any events, stories, or ideas that we might be interested in, let us know. We'll get our hardworking team of reporters on the case. It's quite simple. Send us a press release or fill out a press release form. They're located outside our office, room 22 in the JDUC, right by the arcade. Or give us a call at 545-6699. Our mailing address is Studio Q, care of the AMS, JDUC, Queen's University, Kingston, Ontario, K7L 3N6. Who knows? We might just change your life.
Thank you, Studio Q.
Okay, well that wraps up our hip-hop happening crazy show today.
It was a hip-hop happening crazy kind of show. Just everyone beware, there are changes coming to the JDUC.
Good changes.
Good changes.
Video
We're going to
store.
have a video store, so I'll be able to
I'm
sprint down
excited
here
about
at
that,
like
yeah.
10 o'clock and rent the favorite flicks and
And an entrepreneurial center and daycare center.
daycare center.
What else?
And Ye Old Tuck Shop is moving across the hall to where Cut Above Alfie's used to be.
Oh,
So, and with a new side entrance and everything. It's going to be very nice.
more candy.
More.
I hope.
Beaucoup de bonbons. Right.
Anyhow,
That's it. We'll see you next week, same time on Run Tite.
I'm Kirsta Teague. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye. Studio Q, Queen's weekly television show, is brought to you courtesy of Cablenet 13 and the Queen's Alma Mater Society. Tune in each week, Thursdays at 6 and Fridays at 4:30 on Cablenet 13.